what's amazing about Gerstner then in this setting is the fact are a couple of factors. I mean, he's an academic who is operating at the highest intellectual scholarly level, and yet he very quickly, after accomplishing his academic goals, becomes somewhat of a popularizer of the Reformed faith and of Christianity. This is sort of taken forward by Sproul, right? So he meets Sproul, and you got the Ligonier thing going on, and Sproul brings Gerstner in to begin teaching classes and all of that stuff. So Gerstner kind of has an interesting role where he's able to exercise his intellectual gifts and his scholarly gifts, but he's able to do it in a setting with a popular audience, sort of speak. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that. How does Gerstner, or maybe better yet, why does Gerstner get involved in popular type of ministry, not dumbing down, but taking all of his intellectual gifts and the richness of the Reformed faith and Reformed theology, and being able to then minister it to a popular audience in both books and lecture format. And then the way in which that leads to his connection with Sproul and Ligonier Ministries. Maybe you could take us kind of through that history and unpack that as you find useful.
Yeah, well, they founded the Ligonier Valley Study Center in the early '70s, and it just really mushroomed and grew, and they had some really important financial backing from a wealthy woman in the Pittsburgh area, and that kind of got it launched. And then and then right off the bat, they were able to get some really good people, who had really good tech knowledge, and were able to you know film and record lectures and things like that. And so then they were able to distribute that, throughout the United States and around the world. And that's, really what um, helped Ligonier grow. I think too, I think within the UPC tradition itself, there is a more populist orientation. Um, you see it especially in James Orr, who is the most prominent UP theologian, of the end of the 19th, early 20th century. Orr was, you know, as learned as you could get, but he spent the last 2 years of his career as a popularizer, and the UP tradition it is more focus on the common people. It was a much poorer denomination compared to the mainline church. The UP church in Scotland and in the United States was much poorer, and so they just had a populist bent and style to them. So I think what Sproul, did, and what Gerstner did can be connected to James Orr, and then Orr too is very close to Melvin Grove Kyle, and Kyle had a very populist orientation as well. So
Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting connection. I never understood that, and how much the background of the UP and the culture of the UP goes into the person of Gerstner, is a remarkable story in and of itself, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, and I mean I think the UPCNA tradition is far more important for Presbyterian history, far more important for evangelical history than has previously been realized, because Orr was the one who planted the seed in um, Carl Henry's mind to
Huh.
really work on kind of large scale philosophical issues, and try to develop a Christian worldview, and so on and so forth. So, or doesn't get a lot of credit, but I think is someone who's really really important for the history of evangelicalism, and and for kind of this populist approach to things.